Much of the information that we've seen in this document release today is stuff that we've already known for the most part. Names like Michael Jackson came out through a lawyer several years ago. Today's release shed some new light on that. Nothing untoward happened with Michael Jackson, according to the witness who was testifying.
Michael Jackson, the king of pop, has been no stranger to controversy throughout his life and career. But now, years after his passing, a new and unexpected twist has surfaced. His name has reportedly appeared in connection with Jeffrey Epstein's infamous documents. The Epstein case, already one of the most high-profile scandals in recent history, has implicated a shocking number of powerful individuals from various industries. With each new revelation, the case has sent ripples of outrage across the globe. But what does it mean for Michael Jackson, a figure already surrounded by decades of speculation and polarizing debates? Could this be yet another layer to the complex narrative of his life, or is it simply a fleeting mention with no real connection? As Epstein's documents continue to unravel webs of secrecy and expose high-profile connections, the mere mention of Michael's name raises new questions and rekindles old debates about his legacy. The inclusion of Michael Jackson's name in such a context has left fans, critics, and legal experts alike searching for answers. Was this a significant revelation or just another case of guilt by association in a world where fame often intersects with infamy? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the implications of this shocking revelation, exploring the connections, the controversies, and the ripple effects this story has created. The Epstein Documents, unraveling a web of secrets. The Jeffrey Epstein case has become one of the most explosive scandals of the 21st century, exposing the dark underbelly of global power and influence. At the heart of this scandal are the infamous Epstein Documents, a treasure trove of names, dates, and connections that have implicated some of the world's most powerful figures. Politicians, business moguls, Hollywood elites. No corner of the celebrity world has been untouched by these revelations. These documents, which have been slowly unsealed over the years, provide a glimpse into Epstein's vast network of associates and the parties, events, and relationships that fueled his operation. Each new release brings with it a wave of speculation, shock, and in some cases, outright disbelief. Names that have surfaced include some of the biggest players in entertainment and politics, raising questions about who knew what and how deeply they were involved. Now, Michael Jackson's name has reportedly been mentioned in these documents, a revelation that has sparked an entirely new wave of intrigue. While the specifics of his inclusion remain unclear, it's enough to reignite conversations about the intersections of fame, power, and privilege. The King of Pop's association, however tangential, with a case as notorious as Epstein's, has added yet another layer of complexity to the ongoing narrative surrounding his life and legacy. But what does this mention really mean? Was it a direct reference to Michael, or could it be connected to someone in his orbit? As with many elements of the Epstein case, concrete answers remain elusive, leaving room for endless speculation. What's clear, however, is that the connection, no matter how minor, has reignited public interest in both Michael's life and the intricate web of Epstein's social circle. Michael Jackson's history of controversies. Michael Jackson's name has long been synonymous with both unparalleled talent and unrelenting controversy. Throughout his career, the King of Pop was no stranger to scrutiny, facing a myriad of allegations and public battles that shaped his legacy in profound and polarizing ways. For decades, his life oscillated between moments of brilliance on stage and relentless challenges off it, creating a narrative that was as complex as it was captivating. From groundbreaking achievements like Thriller, which remains one of the best-selling albums of all time, to legal battles that dominated headlines, Michael's life was under a microscope. His relationships, business dealings, and private life were all subjects of intense media speculation, often blurring the line between fact and fiction. His legacy, while celebrated for its musical genius, has always carried the weight of these controversies, leaving fans and critics divided on how to view him. Now, with Michael Jackson's name reportedly surfacing in the Epstein documents, the public is once again revisiting these debates. To many, this mention is yet another layer in the ongoing saga of his life, a story that continues to evolve even years after his passing. While some argue that his name appearing in such a context doesn't necessarily imply wrongdoing. Others see it as a potential connection to yet another controversy, one that is steeped in global scandal and secrecy. This latest development serves as a reminder of how deeply Michael's life has been intertwined with speculation. It also raises the stakes for those who have spent years defending his legacy as well as those who have questioned it. Whether this mention will bring new revelations or remain a fleeting connection is uncertain, but it has undoubtedly added fuel to the ever-burning discussion surrounding Michael Jackson's life and the legacy he left behind. The mention in the documents. What do we really know? The reported mention of Michael Jackson's name in Jeffrey Epstein's documents has sparked widespread speculation, but the details remain shrouded in ambiguity. Unlike some other high-profile figures whose connections to Epstein were well documented, Michael's inclusion seems far less direct. The documents do not indicate any known meetings between the two, nor do they provide concrete evidence of a personal or professional relationship. Yet the mere appearance of his name in such a context has set off alarms, inviting both scrutiny and intrigue. What exactly does the mention entail? Some reports suggest that Michael's name may have been linked through mutual acquaintances or referenced in relation to events where Epstein and his network were involved. Others speculate that it could have been a passing mention, with no substantial ties to Epstein himself. However, in an age where public perception often outweighs facts, this small detail has created a wave of assumptions and interpretations. Adding to the complexity is the lack of clarity surrounding how Michael's name entered the fold. Was it listed in correspondence, a guest list, or third-party testimony? Without full transparency, the absence of definitive evidence has created a vacuum that speculation is eager to fill. This ambiguity has only fueled the public's curiosity, with many demanding a deeper investigation into the nature of the connection. Fans of Michael Jackson have been quick to defend him, pointing out that his legacy has already been marred by years of legal battles and tabloid sensationalism. To them, this mention is yet another example of his name being unfairly dragged into controversies. On the other hand, critics argue that even the faintest association with Epstein's circle warrants further scrutiny, given the gravity of the allegations tied to the case. For now, the truth remains elusive, and the lack of context in these documents leaves much to the imagination. Whether this mention proves to be a significant link or just an incidental reference, it has undoubtedly reignited conversations about Michael Jackson, his associations, and the challenges of interpreting history through a lens clouded by both fame and scandal. The industry connection, Michael Jackson and Epstein's circles. While the mention of Michael Jackson's name in the Epstein documents raises questions, the intrigue deepens when examining the broader connections between the entertainment industry and Epstein's social circles. Epstein was known for cultivating relationships with powerful individuals, including celebrities, business moguls, and politicians. His lavish parties and exclusive gatherings often blurred the lines between personal friendships and professional networking, creating a web of associations that even unknowing participants found themselves entangled in. Michael Jackson's world was no stranger to high-profile figures. From collaborations with celebrities to hosting extravagant events at his Neverland Ranch, Michael often found himself in the orbit of influential individuals. However, there is little evidence to suggest that he and Epstein shared a direct relationship. Instead, the connection may have come through shared acquaintances, figures who moved between the spheres of entertainment, finance, and politics. Some speculate that the mention could be tied to individuals in Michael's extended network who had dealings with Epstein. Given Michael's status as one of the most famous entertainers in the world, his name often appeared in lists, invitations, or social registers, whether or not he actively participated. This dynamic could explain how his name found its way into Epstein's documents, even if the connection itself was indirect. Another possibility lies in the high-profile events that both Epstein and Michael's circles were known to attend. Epstein's penchant for elite gatherings often brought together celebrities from various industries, and it's not unimaginable that Michael's name might have surfaced in association with one of these events. Yet, this still raises the question, was this simply a coincidence, or is there more to the story? This layer of industry connections adds complexity to an already convoluted narrative. While it doesn't provide concrete answers, it highlights the challenges of navigating the intersection of fame, influence, and scandal. For Michael Jackson, a figure whose legacy is already fraught with public scrutiny, this new association, no matter how tenuous, continues to shape how his story is perceived in a world where speculation often speaks louder than facts. The The public's reaction, divided opinions, and renewed debate. The public reaction to Michael Jackson's name surfacing in the Epstein documents has been nothing short of polarizing. On one side are his devoted fans, who have long defended him against decades of scrutiny and allegations. To them, this mention is yet another attempt to tarnish the legacy of a man who has already endured a lifetime of intense public judgment. For these supporters, the lack of evidence tying Michael directly to Epstein is proof that this is nothing more than guilt by association, an unfortunate byproduct of his celebrity status and the people he may have unknowingly crossed paths with. On the other side, skeptics and critics argue that any mention of Michael Jackson in such a context warrants deeper investigation. For them, the appearance of his name raises valid questions about the circles he may have been involved in and whether there were connections the public was unaware of. Given the gravity of the Epstein case, some believe that even a passing reference deserves to be thoroughly examined to ensure no stone is left unturned. The ambiguity of the mention has only added fuel to the fire, leaving the public to fill in the gaps with their own interpretations. Social media has been flooded with discussions, with some speculating about possible ties, while others dismiss the claims outright. News outlets have further amplified the story, presenting it as yet another chapter in the ongoing examination of Epstein's sprawling network. For many, the debate isn't just about Michael Jackson, it's about the broader implications of fame, influence, and accountability. The Epstein documents have cast a wide net, implicating individuals from every corner of society, and the inclusion of someone as globally iconic as Michael Jackson adds a new layer of intrigue to an already explosive scandal. Ultimately, this revelation has reignited old debates about Michael's life and legacy. Was he simply a victim of circumstances, his name pulled into a controversy that had nothing to do with him? Or does this mention suggest deeper connections that have yet to be uncovered? The public remains divided, with the discussion highlighting how challenging it can be to separate fact from fiction in a world where perception often drives the narrative. The legal perspective. What does the mention actually mean? From a legal standpoint, the mention of Michael Jackson's name in the Epstein documents raises more questions than answers. Being named in such documents does not automatically imply guilt, complicity, or even direct involvement. In many cases, these mentions are the result of third-party references, casual associations, or tangential connections that have little to do with the central allegations. However, the gravity of the Epstein case has led to an environment where even the slightest association draws intense scrutiny. Legal experts point out that the appearance of a name in the Epstein documents could mean several things. It might indicate attendance at an event, a social connection, or even a reference made by another party. Without concrete evidence tying Michael Jackson to Epstein's activities, it's crucial to approach this mention with caution. Many high-profile figures named in the documents have denied involvement, emphasizing that their inclusion was circumstantial rather than indicative of any wrongdoing. Still, the public's reaction to such mentions often outweighs their legal implications. The court of public opinion tends to blur the lines between speculation and fact, and for someone like Michael Jackson, whose legacy has already been marked by controversy, the stakes are particularly high. Critics argue that any association with Epstein warrants further investigation, while supporters caution against jumping to conclusions based on incomplete information. Another complicating factor is Michael's inability to defend himself. Given that he passed away in 2009, this leaves his legacy vulnerable to reinterpretation, as any new revelation is evaluated without the benefit of his voice. Legal experts stress the importance of relying on verified facts rather than conjecture, particularly in cases as sensitive and far-reaching as the Epstein scandal. Ultimately, the legal implications of this mention remain unclear. While it's possible that Michael Jackson's inclusion in the documents is nothing more than a passing reference, it underscores the need for transparency and due diligence when examining the details of such a complex case. For now, the mention serves as a reminder of how easily public perception can be swayed by incomplete narratives, especially when they involve figures as iconic and polarizing as Michael Jackson. The ongoing mystery and Michael Jackson's legacy. The mention of Michael Jackson's name in the Epstein documents has added yet another layer to the complex and controversial legacy of the King of Pop. Whether the connection is substantial or merely incidental, it has reignited debates about his life, his associations, and the challenges of being being a global icon under constant scrutiny. In a case as infamous and wide-reaching as Jeffrey Epstein's, even a fleeting mention can have far-reaching implications, leaving fans, critics, and legal experts to interpret what it truly means. For Michael's staunch defenders, this revelation is a reminder of how easily his name can become entangled in controversies, even posthumously. They argue that his legacy, while not without flaws, is consistently subjected to unfair judgment, and that this latest association is yet another example of speculation overshadowing fact. For them, Michael's life was a testament to both the brilliance and vulnerability of fame, and they see this mention as a baseless attempt to further tarnish his reputation. On the other hand, skeptics view this as an opportunity to revisit Michael's connections and re-examine the circles in which he moved. To them, the Epstein documents serve as a blueprint of power and influence, and any mention, no matter how minor, warrants closer inspection. They argue that transparency is essential, not just for understanding the Epstein case, but for uncovering the broader dynamics of fame and privilege in the entertainment industry. What's undeniable is that this revelation has once again thrust Michael Jackson into the spotlight, raising questions about how history will remember him. Was this just another instance of his name being pulled into a controversy by association, or does it point to something more significant? The truth remains elusive, and without concrete evidence, the mention of his name in these documents leaves more questions than answers. As we reflect on this story, one thing is clear: Michael Jackson's life and legacy will continue to be a subject of fascination and debate. His extraordinary talent, coupled with the complexities of his personal life, has made him one of the most intriguing figures in modern history. This latest development, while shrouded in ambiguity, serves as a reminder of the enduring impact of his story and the challenges of understanding the man behind the legend. In the end, we are left with a haunting question: is this mention a meaningful clue, or just another fragment of speculation in a life already filled with mysteries? Only time and further investigation may reveal the truth. Until then, the world will continue to watch, wonder, and debate the enduring legacy of Michael Jackson.